With all that in mind, we are going to be able to go ahead and get underway, picking up Lijiang Tower here, and taking you boys away with this one are going to be our very own Matt, Smite, Ross, and Dallas Easy Fight Eddie. Take it away, boys.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be getting right into Lijiang Tower here. On Tempo's side here, we've got Amazy, Delted, Avengy, Jar, Random Name 69, and Jokebot.
And over on their sister, it's Avalon Hexa. You've got Bry, Cryptic, Labels, Kipani, Jubojuski, and Ziphius.
And do you want to talk about some of these comps here? We see a sort of double support coming up there for Hexa, somewhat similar there for Tempo as well.
Well, I mean, the first notable thing that I'm seeing right now is the Mercy. We talked about it on the desk. It, again, brings something completely different when you move into control point maps, right? Now, the rest of the team, you look at it, they're running a very interesting double DPS. You've got a brawling DPS in Reaper, and then you've also got Genji, and a few player swaps there, but again, it's still sticking onto the Genji. So they kind of half want to dive, but still protect their backline from things like Winston with the Reaper.
A little bit of chip damage coming through here. Do pay attention to the Winston's position up here on the left-hand side. Label's going to be looking to engage very soon, I'd say, onto the Winston once he catches the position there. Label's actually dropping very, very low, almost falling. And as they move in right now, there comes the Winston. He's going to be jumping onto the Lucio. The Reaper tries to go in as well, but he gets taken down. 2 kills, 3 kills coming up in the way of Tempo. Very good start for Tempo. The stronger-looking team of the two. That's going to be Jubojuski as well. He's going to drop as well, and Tempo should be able to grab the first.
Now that fight, I feel, was decided by Labels going in a little bit too deep. His job, like I was saying before, is to get rid of Doubted on that Winston. As soon as Labels went down, Doubted could go nuts. Who's left to deal with him? Genji struggles to take down a giant scientist monkey, and the rest of the team is tanks and support. So again, I feel like that was a key part of why Tempo were able to take the point
and
first.
Very important positioning here from Random Name. He's actually on the entire flank right now. He's almost got that pulse bomb here in hand as well, and that's going to be him now. First ultimate of the game here on that Tracer. Going to be falling back very, very slightly as they look to open up this fight. They're going to be moving in. He's going to be looking to take out some of these supports. Kipani looking very, very low. 2 kills coming up in the way of Tempo very quickly indeed. Tracer doing a lot of work here. Going to need a takedown. This Ana. Ana falls there as well. Tempo looking very dominant, Smite.
And then again, it just comes down to fragging. You don't even have to use those ultimates that Tempo had the advantage of. A pulse bomb could have absolutely secured them to fight there, but we followed Random Name through that. He could have thrown the pulse bomb out and caught a kill on Kipani, in fact, effectively taking the nano boost out of the fight easily, but instead, they're showing discipline. They're showing that they don't have to just throw out these ultimates.
Oh, very good sleep there. And that's going to be Tracer getting knocked down extremely quickly. And this is now going to be Hexa's moment to move in. Oh, the Winston and the Ana are chasing the enemy Ana there. They do manage to take down Avengy, and this is going to be their moment. Tempo going to be passing 70%. If they don't manage to get the point, great headshot there from Joke to take the kill there. Nice stuff from Bry to keep himself alive. Got that Dragon Blade here in hand as well. They are contesting the point. They might be able to get this one 2 on top, but it doesn't look like it.
Hexa taking the early advantage, but they did not manage to capture the point in that entire fight. Even if they come out on top here, the best they can hope for is capping the point at 0% with Tempo almost at that 90.
Oh, and Doubted doing so much damage there as well. This is absolutely amazing here from Tempo. Not even having to use many ultimates at all, and they are just being so dominant.
But now they can use them. Now they can blow them and win the fight here. Look at them. They're clearing up.
They're fast reaching 99%. We're in overtime already. Hexa have 0% in this one, and Tempo are looking so dominant here, and Bry just falls like a fly there as well. He's gone, kills coming up all in the way of Tempo. Extremely dominating first round from them. They're going to take the first map.
Now the initial fight immediately goes over to Tempo, but because of just overextension by Labels on that Reaper, they weren't able to deal with Doubted on the Winston. They had to go for a roster swap again, but that takes down your own ultimates, and again, from losing your first fight, Tempo were the ones coming out with the ult advantage. And again, they just showed dominance in just fragging, going around in those skirmishes, not having to use ultimates. And again, because of that, because of winning another further fight without committing ultimates, meant they just had so much to play with. And then you combine that with the fact that with the one fight that Hexa did win, they didn't even capture the point.
And let's see now, there's a couple of change-ups coming there on the Hexa side. What do they need to do to get themselves in this one?
Now, they're going much heavier on the dive here. Again, both team's not actually running that far, but Bry notably is on that Widowmaker. Tempo are going to have to start committing resources to get rid of Bry. We'll have to see how
Bry tries to open it up there. He actually misses 2 shots there, almost managing to find that very early pick. Labels, dropping half HP. Doubted jumping straight onto the Widowmaker. Bry's going to be in big trouble there, and he gets taken down. Great jump there from the Winston, and now Tempo again looking very, very dominant, managing to push Hexa back already, and they are going to be able to get themselves onto the point.
Hexa have no choice but to retreat. Bri is going to stick onto that Widowmaker. Again, I feel like Tempo have all the tools to deal with Bri. They simply committed Doubted to Bri. The best thing that Bri can get out of it is just using the grappling hook to get away and survive for a little while longer. Doubted can just jump back to his team and continue in the fight. And as soon as Bri's back in position, suddenly there's a giant monkey on top
and Bri's sticking on this Widowmaker, trying to find some shots here. And again, Doubted jumping straight onto them, but 2 quick kills coming up in the way of Hexa. And this is going to be their moment. They're in a 4v6, make that a 3v6. Amazy gets that nice trade kill there onto the Winston. Bri going to be trying to look for this Tracer here. Will he manage to find that shot? We're actually not going to be able to see, but this is going to be Hexa grabbing the point back. Good stuff.
And Bri just doesn't need to do anything at that point. Again, he didn't manage to have too much of an effect on that fight, but the rest of the team, especially Jubo Jutski with that Discord Orb, is able to shred through those tanks. Doubted just fell like a fly, and after that, Tempo didn't have much to work with. So Hexa managed to move in, they captured the point, and now, again, they're not quite...
Oh, nice shot there from Bri, and that's going to open it up here for Hexa. They're going to have that player advantage, make that 2-player advantage, but 2 kills coming now in the way of Tempo as well. 4v4 here, but Bri still managing to stay alive. He needs to hit some of these shots. Label's going to be actually getting back onto that point, holding it down to make sure that Tempo can't do it. Goes for that pulse bomb, kills himself.
Well, I think Jokebot actually managed to capture the kill there, but again, Tempo moving in. But they're still contesting here, which means that Hexa, every second they buy here is crucial to getting them to the point.
And the Dragon Blade gets used there. Cryptic picking up the first kill, needs to find the second here. Oh, make that 3 possibly. He's looking for Jar. Jar falls down there as well. Great stuff from that Dragon Blade. That Discord Orb's going to be on the Winston, and Tempo looking in the spot of bother right now.
And Cryptic suddenly being very impressive on that Genji. Will have to back out, but so much time bought for his team, they managed to get the point up to 40%. But again, now they are sitting a little bit on the back foot here. The ultimates are even, but Hexa are not in position just yet. And their ultimates, they're quite defensive, right? They've got the Transcendence, and now they're getting aggressive.
And Doubted jumps straight onto Cryptic there. I honestly thought that Hexa would have been able to do a lot more from that Dragon Blade usage. Jokebot got that Deadeye there in hand as well, and they're going to be able to push Hexa back again. They've caught the Tracer here as well. We will see Tempo try to go in here and take that Tracer down. They now know the position that Hexa are going to be coming from on that right side. Great jump there from the Winston. 3 kills now coming up in the way of Tempo, pushing just past 70%.
Oh, Ziphius, oh no, he gets slipped. That was a great moment for him to cleave with so much lightning damage with the Tesla Cannon, with the Nano
And that
boost.
Nano Boost, oh, it's not going to be enough there, and they do manage to take him down as well. The Nano Boost not being able to keep him alive, and Hexa looking very, very in a spot of bother here. They're going to be falling back, and they need to regroup.
And Tempo keep a few ultimates to secure themselves on the point with only 90% on the point right now. There's only seconds to go for Hexa. They've got to rush the point. They've got ultimates to work with, but with a sound barrier and a Deadeye to zone, this is looking great for Tempo.
And Hexa are on the point right now. They may manage a tiny little swindle here. Bri for switching over to that Pharah. There goes the Zenyatta ulti, and that Nano Boost now going to be on the Winston of Doubted. Doubted doing so much damage here in this fight. 4 kills coming up in the way of Tempo. They're on 99%. I don't see what Labels can do to keep this one alive. It looks like Tempo are going to be taking map number 2.
And Tempo, again, just capitalizing from the start. They lost a point at one point, just Hexa managing to move in and take down their tanks, but Tempo come back swinging. And in that last fight especially, because Hexa were in such a desperate situation, they had to rush the point, they had to blow their ultimate sooner so that they could get onto the point safely. Tempo simply waited it out. They had Deadeye and Sound Barrier to work with, just both defensively and offensively. And again, I feel like it was just easy street from there.
Well, we did see a small little bit of improvement there coming up from Hexa, actually managing to cap the point this time. What do they need to do coming into this final map to get into this one, Smite?
Well, again, they just need to commit to a strategy, a certain composition, and just go for it hard. Now, the Gardens is definitely a map that I find very interesting in how teams approach the point. It's whether the enemy team has a Pharah. Do you go for that enclosed space? Do you run to the point as soon as you can to get the position? Now, again, see, we see both teams going different ways. In fact,
random
Trace
name.
is actually meeting.
The Tracer versus Tracer battle, and Labels gets dropped there by Jokebot. Manages to find that headshot with the McCree. Now, random name going to be able to get behind the entire enemy team here. Ana does spot him out, but it looks like Tracer should be able to get into this one. Tempo going to be holding down the point there as well. Amazy picking up this hog, does miss the hook there, but Doubted doing so much work on this Winston in this matchup here. And now they're going to catch Hexa on the bridge, and this is going to spell disaster for Hexa as Tempo take point. the point again.
The swap on the Roadhog is also great because it brings a lot of what Reaper does in shredding tanks. The Winston is just going to take way too much damage. It's a very easy hook. But then the other key thing is when they're in command of the point and suddenly they've got Whole Hog, that's enough to hold the point for a very long time. You can knock everyone just completely off the bridges, shut down effectively one of the entrances onto the points, and simply with one ultimate. Now, they're sacrificing a Zarya for this, which is a little bit greedy onto Amazy. It means they don't have the tools to build the ults for the rest
watch
of their
random
team.
name. He's actually going to be able to flank this entire push coming in from Hexa now. Shots being landed from Bry, but they don't manage to pick up a kill just yet. Jokebot dropping extremely low. He goes down to Cryptic. Good stuff there to get this kill. That nano boost now coming in onto Cryptic. Cryptic going to be chasing down Tempo. Oh, look at that. The Roadhog looking extremely low. Pulse Bomb used by random name here. Picks up nothing with that one. Does manage to find a kill though with the dual SMGs. And now Jumbo Juice trying to keep this fight alive here. Great shield from the Zarya to keep them alive. Hexa looking good. Should be able to get this point back just before 50%.
And they managed to win that fight simply committing a nano boost onto Cryptic. No one else blew any ultimates. They took that point very effectively, very efficiently, very cleanly. Now they have so much to work with. They can just throw out the Graviton Surge and simply with that win a fight. The cleave damage from Xiphius is almost enough to do most of the health bar for Tempo. Now, again, because they're moving into a tight way, Tempo have to take this very carefully. Graviton Surge will just shut them off on this entrance.
Well, they have shown some good positioning before, and here comes Doubted going to be leaping in. But, oh, he almost overextends now without the team. He might drop very quickly there, but Amazy finds that hook there onto Bry. There comes the Graviton Surge. Manages to find the whole team there. What a biotic grenade. And now Hexa looking very, very strong. Tempo almost managing to swindle the point from them, but Hexa say no.
And Tempo, they used almost everything in that fight and still aren't able to manage to capture the point. Again, Hexa, yes, they committed a lot to that, but they had all the tools they needed to deal with it, right? Again, right? Cryptic throwing out the Graviton Surge, it was counted out by Tempo's sound barrier, but then they were just all out of position and have to take the fight in a different way now.
And now there's Doubted again jumping in. Don't make the same mistake twice, buddy. He goes in, he's on half HP. He might manage to keep himself alive in this one. Jokebot dropping very low. That Primal Rage Monkey, he's looking very angry. 20 HP, going to be falling back though. Bry on the side of Hexa, he does fall down there. Now Cryptic doing so much damage now in the dojo, pulling them apart. Jar actually falls off the edge there. And now player advantage here in the form of Hexa. They are looking good here to keep themselves in control as they pass 75%. Nano boost onto the Winston as well. And he won't be able to push this. Amazy won't be able to stay alive here, surely.
But they're buying time, right? Hexa have held on to this point for a very long time, sitting at 85%. And Tempo, despite picking up kill after kill after kill during this fight, they still took so long to move on to the point. Now, Hexa basically have to win one more fight, and they win the game basically from there. Now, there's a little bit of time for Tempo to come back after that, but they used so many resources in trying to capture that point. They're still building up to their Graviton Surge, which is quite far away to build up the rest of their team's ultimates. Hexa can take one fight, lose it, build up their own.
They're going to try to push across this bridge, but they're obviously going to be walking into Amazy. He's got that 100 charge. There comes the Deadeye. Finds absolutely nothing with it. And the Winston now doing a lot of damage here. That biotic grenade almost making him drop. But great use of the Primal Rage. Going to knock Bry off the edge. See you, mate. And now Tempo looking very strong here. Kills coming up in their favor and ultimate advantage as well.
And they didn't even have to use too much during that. The Primal Rage did so much work, and now Amazy, sitting with that Graviton Surge, is basically enough for them to win the fight. But again, with 90% fast approaching right now, Tempo can blow absolutely everything and just win the fight. Graviton Surge into Deadeye, that's already so much damage, and without a sound barrier or a Reinhardt to deal with it, you have to rely on the
now.
Winston
Tempo
shield.
getting very, very close here. They are going to hit 100%. We are into overtime, and Hexa needs to commit to this. That nano... Oh, there we go. That Graviton Surge onto the wall, trying to drop them off there. But Tempo are going to do it, I'd say here. Very, very dominating performance on them, taking this one 3-0 on Lijiang Tower.
And Hexa, they showed promise after map number 2, and then coming into Gardens, they, again, did a whole lot better, winning several more fights. But I feel like that whole map just simply went down to Tempo, knowing how to execute their entrance onto the point, winning those initial fights, and then also their ultimate economy. Now, they moved into so many of those fights knowing what they needed to move on to the next one, knowing what they needed to take to win the game and not just the fight.
And that play of the game from Random Name, you really have to give credit to Random Name's Tracer there. I feel like he was definitely the standout Tracer of the match here. Definitely, obviously, taking the fight to labels time and time again, but there we saw, obviously, that Graviton Surge with the Pulse Bomb. Very big damage there.